I was in love with Leo for 8 years, and the whole world knew it. During a game of truth or dare, his friends dared me to go kiss a guy at the table across from us. I looked at Leo, who couldn't have cared less, and smiled. All right, I'll do it. I walked over to the best-looking man at the other table, grabbed his collar, and kissed him. Later, that same man held me in his arms, his eyes a little red, and his voice husky. You have to take responsibility for that. After work, Na finished her makeup and walked over to my desk. Anna, aren't you leaving yet? You're going to be late. Late for what? I asked, confused. Nina feigned surprise. You don't know? Leo got promoted to operations director a couple of days ago. He's taking everyone out to dinner. He didn't tell you. The promotion had been decided internally for a while. I was the one who had pulled some strings with my uncle to get him a spot. Leo had always been a top student, handsome, great at basketball, and popular with the girls. Even after starting his career, he was a favorite among the female colleagues, girls like me. No, he didn't tell me, I said with a bitter smile and a knot forming in my stomach. Not teased. You two are so close. He probably just forgot. Didn't think he needed to make a special announcement to you. We were close. Our parents were friends. We'd gone to the same middle and high schools and even ended up at the same university. In freshman year of high school, I wrote him a love letter. He was completely cold. Anna, stop messing around. Focus on your studies. Don't think about dating so young. And I did. I studied hard and got into Columbia with him. I thought if I could just get into the same university, he would finally say yes. But just like in high school, he was always surrounded by a crowd of pretty, charming girls. He never pursued any of them, but he rejected every single one who confessed to him. The girls by his side came and went. But whenever I confessed, he'd just say, "Don't be silly. You're still young." And then he'd let me stay by his side. Because of that, I thought I was special. I naively believed that my devotion would eventually win him over. Slowly, I came to understand that I was just a convenient harbor in his otherwise boring life. I should have known that a love you have to work that hard to earn through pity isn't love at all. Even a stone would have warmed up after 8 years. Seeing I was quiet, Na smiled smugly. Come on, Anna. Let's go together. I've known you both since freshman year of college, and we all work at the same company now. Him getting a promotion reflects well on us, too. We got to stick together. I couldn't bring myself to say no, so I let Nina drag me along. Because Leo was going to be there, I couldn't stop myself from wanting to see him. We arrived at the lounge he'd booked for the party. He'd really splurged. It was one of the most expensive places in the city. Well, look who it is. Your little tag-along is still here, Leo said, referring to Henry, one of Leo's friends. Without even turning his head, Leo said, Anna, why are you everywhere? You gotta run and tattle to my mom again. My heart sank, but I kept my expression neutral. I wouldn't, and I'm not going to bother your mom over something so small. If I'd known I wasn't welcome, I wouldn't have come. Na smiled and cozied up to him. Leo, I'm the one who dragged Anna here. You only invited me, and I was afraid it would be awkward being the only girl, so I asked her to come along. You don't mind, do you? Her tone was soft and sweet with a flirty edge. Anyone could see there was something between them. She was invited by Leo. I was just dragged along by Na to be the fool. We sat in a booth toward the back while Leo and Mina sat in the middle, surrounded by a crowd of people hyping them up. Na leaned against Leo's shoulder, looking shy, her eyes fixed on him with affection. Leo glanced at her a few times with an unreadable expression, but didn't push her away. Using the excuse of going to the restroom, Na pulled me along to touch up our makeup. She patted foundation onto her face excitedly. Anna, do you think a guy as amazing as Leo could ever like me? I rolled my eyes. Yeah, if he's blind and likes a mouthful of powder every time he kisses you. You wouldn't mind, would you, Anna? Na asked, a worried look on her face. I forced a smile. Do you need me to mind? Would that spice things up for you two? Na looked down, feigning hurt. Anna, I know you're not over him, but we've been friends since freshman year. I don't want things to get awkward between us. Her passive-aggressive act was next level. You're right. We have known each other for a long time, I said. I can't believe I was blind enough not to see who you really are until now. When the office gossip about them started, I didn't believe it. Now, I'd always been the one encouraging me not to give up on Leo, always on my side. I always thought of her as my best friend, sharing everything with her. It wasn't until I saw a photo of them kissing in the parking garage that all the little signs started to make sense. Every time I met up with Leo, Nina was always there. The way they looked at each other, the casual hand-holding, the little touches, and then they'd turn around and say it was nothing, that they were just good friends, and that I shouldn't misunderstand because she was genuinely rooting for me and Leo. They were so obviously playing me for a fool. What an absolute idiot I'd been. In that moment, I finally decided to let go. I'm done with Leo. Just drinking got boring, so the group started a game of truth or dare. Whoever the bottle pointed at had to choose one or the other. Leo had great luck and was the first one chosen. He picked dare. Henry said, "Pick a girl here and eat a chocolate stick with her. Lady and the style." Everyone started chanting for Leo and Nina. Na blushed. "Oh, you guys stop teasing me and Leo." Without a word, Leo picked up a chocolate stick, put one end in his mouth and the other in Na's, but his eyes drifted toward me. I watched their intensely suggestive game. Great. Just great. This was just making it easier to kill any feelings I had left. After that round, the bottle spun and landed on me. I also chose dare. I don't know who suggested it, but someone said, "Go kiss a guy at the table across from us." "You dare, Anna." The person who said it got a light smack. "Don't you know Anna's into Leo? What's wrong with you? Telling her to kiss someone else. So what? Maybe she'll finally find a rebound tonight. Yeah, if she hits it off with someone, she probably won't have the energy to chase our boy Leo anymore." Huh. They all laughed and made shameless jokes at my expense, some of them getting pretty crude. Leo didn't say a single word the entire time. He didn't defend me, just let them run their mouths. It was always like this, and it still was. Nah, holding Leo's arm, said in a considerate tone, "Leo, this might be a bad idea. After all, your mom really likes Anna." The mention of his mother instantly chilled his mood. He said nonchalantly, "It's just a game. Anna can handle it." Hearing his answer, the last bit of hope in my heart finally died. I stood up with a smile. "All right, I'll do it. That one over there is pretty handsome. I'll pick him." While I looked over at the guy in the booth, Leo's face fell instantly. Henry muttered, "Isn't that Daniel Ford from Ford Enterprises?" Anna's about to get shot down hard. Na asked him, "What's the big deal about Daniel Ford? Is he somebody?" Henry's eyes lit up. He's the third son of the chairman. He became the CEO of the luxury brand Vales when he was super young. And he also controls 3 other powerhouses, a green energy company, a chip firm, and Citroën Films. Is he a big deal? You tell me. A guy that powerful who never messes with women. Anna's about to get rejected. Well, she's asking for it. Daniel Ford isn't just some random guy. I grabbed my drink and walked over to the table in the back. Daniel Ford was leaning back against the sofa, listening to the person next to him talk, a glass in his hand. Just as I reached the table, he looked up at me. Wow, I thought to myself, this guy got even more handsome. Money really does a person good. Those dark, bright eyes, the slight arch of his brow, the clean line of his collarbone, those broad shoulders and narrow waist. His casual, untamed vibe had a hint of danger to it. My kind of trouble. The others at his table heard the commotion and turned to look at me. "Boss, another one for you. Let me handle it." Daniel shot him a look, and the man went silent. I asked him, "Mr. Ford, are you single?" Daniel hesitated for a second, then grunted, "Yeah." I lower my head, clink my glass against his, and down my drink in one go. "Then you won't mind if I kiss you, right?" Cough, cough, cough. The young guy next to him choked on his drink. Everyone was laughing, thinking I was completely out of my league and just there to make a fool of myself. Daniel leaned back, a faint smile on his lips. He looked down and chuckled softly. "Miss, you seem to have taken an interest in me." Seeing he wasn't repulsed, I got bolder and grabbed his collar. "Mr. Ford, you're handsome and rich." "A total catch," I said. "Who wouldn't be interested?" Then I pressed my lips against his. It was a kiss that tasted strongly of liquor. The entire place fell dead silent. Daniel's eyes darkened, and his Adam's apple bobbed. I felt a little nervous and started to pull back, but he gently cupped the back of my neck, his gaze intense and unreadable. Miss, are you over Leo now? Completely over him. No regrets. Never look back. Good. If I was going to get over him, I had to do it properly. I'd spent all my time chasing Leo and had never even really been with a man. I had to pick someone handsome and rich. The next second, Daniel wrapped an arm around my waist, pulling me close and cupped the back of my head. He deepened the kiss fiercely. His friends obediently made room for me, greeting me enthusiastically. So, you're the one. I'm Will Man. Boss, that's not cool, having a girlfriend and not telling us. We brothers owe you some serious welcome gifts. Nice to meet you. I'm Charlie. I mean, it's our boss's first relationship, so he's got to be careful, right, boss? First, I couldn't believe a guy as amazing as Daniel was so inexperienced. Suddenly, I felt a pang of guilt. Had they gotten the wrong idea? I wasn't his girlfriend. I kissed him. He probably felt like I'd taken advantage of him, so he had to get even. I rubbed my nose, feeling awkward. Actually, this is only the second time Mr. Ford and I have met. The first time was at an auction a few months ago. Daniel told me to stay away from Leo. At the time, I thought he was just some handsome guy who was talking nonsense, but I did sneak a few extra glances at him. Will, Charlie, and the others stared wide-eyed at Daniel. Boss, was it love at first sight? So how did you two meet? Where? How did you make it official? The questions came one after another, and I didn't know how to explain. Actually, I was just playing. Daniel put a hand on my shoulder. That's enough, you guys. Don't pick on her. Will's face fell. Boss, I was just curious. I wasn't picking on her, I swear. Daniel didn't even look at Will, turning to me instead. Want to take you home? I glanced over at Leo's table. My coat and bag are over there, and so is my car. I'll just get a ride home. What's wrong? Daniel stared at me, his lazy voice drifting into my ear. You kiss me, miss, and you don't want to take responsibility? Not interested. Leo was standing a short distance away, his eyes fixed on me, his face grim. Anna, what are you still doing here? Get over here. Seriously, that's all it took to get to him. It was always the same. The moment I got even a little close to another guy, he'd suddenly start paying attention. He didn't like me, but he wanted to keep me on the hook, taking my presence for granted. I was a fool once, but that doesn't mean I'll be a fool forever. I played with Daniel's fingers, completely ignoring Leo. Daniel glanced at me, patted the back of my hand, and said softly, "Go on back." Okay, whatever you say. Before I left, I leaned in and kissed Daniel's cheek right in front of Leo. Anna, don't you dare pull this crap with me. I acted like I didn't hear him and went back to my seat. Anna, you never told me you knew Daniel Ford. Nina pressed, unable to hide her curiosity. Her smile was forced. She probably knew that Leo couldn't compare to Daniel. How could he? We met once before. You've got some nerve kissing a guy you've only met a couple of times. You were always popular with the boys in school. I could never be like that. I don't even know how to dress up, Nina said, her words dripping with insinuation. Her act was really getting old. I put on a saccharine voice. That's right. I'm a natural beauty, prettier than you. So of course I'm popular. Even with all your makeup, you can't compare. You might as well not wear any and save some money. Na's face turned a rainbow of colors under the club lights. Leo frowned. Anna, that's enough. Na's been your friend since college. You should cherish that friendship. I laughed, my gaze turning cold. I don't need you to tell me what to do. Leo comforted a pouting Nina, pulling her into a hug, patting her head, and trying to cheer her up. Then he suggested they all go for a late-night snack. I said I was going home, but Leo stopped me. You're coming too. I booked that hot pot place you've always wanted to try. I refused flatly. No thanks. I already went with a friend. It was just okay. Nothing special. Leo acted like he didn't understand. But you said you wanted to go with me. Let's just go again. That hot pot place had a great atmosphere. I used to pester him all the time asking when he'd be free to go with me. But he was always busy, always had some excuse. After a while, I stopped expecting anything. Leo's expression soured. Anna, I'm giving you an out. You should take it. Stop being unreasonable. I took a deep breath and stated calmly, Lo, I'm not in love with you anymore. The moment I said it, my exhausted heart felt a wave of relief. I went home, took a shower, and went straight to bed. The next morning, I was woken up by a flood of messages on my social feed. A bunch of people were asking if I knew that Leo had gone public with his girlfriend. They all said they thought Leo and I would end up together, but it turned out to be Nina. I opened the screenshot a friend sent me. The photo was taken on the balcony of that rooftop hot pot restaurant. In it, Leo and Nina were looking into each other's eyes, holding hands. The dark night cast a mysterious filter over everything. I replied to my friend, "It's a nice photo." Before, I would have been terrified seeing Leo with another girl, afraid she'd steal him away. The thought of him with someone else would have made me sick to my stomach. Now, seeing him with a girlfriend, I felt nothing. All I could think was that Leo was either truly blind or that was just his type. We've been friends for over a decade, and he chose Nina. I wished them well, but I had zero faith they would last. Around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, Na came into the office with a tray full of bubble tea. Tea for everyone on me. A crowd of colleagues gathered around excitedly. "Did you get a bonus, Nina? This is so generous. Are you blind?" It's obviously from her boyfriend. I saw on social media that you and Director Leo from Operations made it official. Are wedding bells in your future? Nina beamed. "Oh, stop teasing me. We just started dating. We're taking it slow. Director Leo is so handsome, successful, and hardworking. You're so lucky, Nina." When Na saw that I hadn't moved, she brought a tea over to my desk. "Anna, this one's for you." "Thanks, but I'm on a diet. No bubble tea for me." Na leaned in closer. "I ordered this one especially for you. Both Leo and I hope that our friendship with you can last forever. Please don't let there be any bad blood between us because of me and him." I asked casually, "Why are we in some kind of love triangle now?" Na stared at me without a word, her expression terrifying. Suddenly, she threw the bubble tea on the floor. It splashed everywhere, and my skirt was ruined. "Anna, I know you like Leo and you're upset," she cried out. "But even if you hate me, you shouldn't throw away this gesture from me and Leo. What a move. Strike first and frame the victim." A few coworkers rushed to Na's defense, while the rest just stood there watching the drama unfold. I calmly wiped down my desk and watched her put on her show, sobbing to the others. I threw the dirty paper towels in the trash, picked up my mug, and stood up. "I can't believe you think that," I said with a pout. "But I guess you know you're pretty hateable, don't you?" Na looked up, her eyes wide with disbelief, her voice trembling. "Anna, you were never like this before." She was right. I used to be such a pushover. Na came from a poor family, and her parents favored her brother. She worked her way through college to pay her tuition. But she always seemed so open and optimistic with us, always facing difficulties with a smile. I would buy her a second set of any nice skincare products I got, take her out for good food, buy her clothes, and go on trips with her. I was always patient and kind to her. I thought I had been a good friend. My old roommate once told me that it was all an act, that I should be careful and not be fooled by her appearance. Anyone who didn't know better would see her tear-filled eyes and think she was the poor, pitiful victim. Even I almost fell for it. Ever since she and Leo got closer, she had become a stranger. After a while, she must have gotten tired of pretending around me. This was the real her. I patted Na's shoulder and spoke loudly. "Could you please clean up my desk and the floor? The security cameras are recording everything. So, don't make this any more ridiculous than it already is." Yeah, ridiculous. And the most ridiculous one of all was me getting sold out by someone and then helping them count the money. Tom has taught me how to weed out the wrong people from my life. They weren't worthy of my kindness. Instead of wasting my time and energy on them, I'd rather focus on improving myself and moving forward. After hours, I was the only one left in the office working late when Leo walked up to my desk. His face was dark. "Anna, why were you bullying Nina? I was the one who asked her to bring you that bubble tea. Apologize to her." Great. He was here to chew me out. Apologize to her as if. I ignored him and continued to organize my files. Leo suddenly laughed. "Anna, don't play hard to get with me. No matter how many tricks you pull to get my attention, I'm never going to like you." I shot him a glare. "Leo, did you fail English class? Don't you understand? I already told you I don't like you anymore. Are you deaf or just stupid?" Leo retorted, "Stop pretending, Anna. If you didn't like me, why would you bully Nina?" How can you prove I bullied her? Do you have any evidence? Or are you just taking her word for it? Even a judge needs witnesses and evidence to convict someone. Leo, is it that after I said I didn't like you anymore, after I stopped being nice to you and revolving my life around you, you started to panic? I stepped closer to him. Leo, what makes you think that I'll always be here waiting for you to come back? The world doesn't revolve around you, and neither do I. The girl who would buy you your favorite breakfast and wait downstairs for you, rain or shine, is gone. The girl who would run to the basketball court after class to cheer you on and bring you water is gone. The girl who would wait in line at dawn to get tickets for your favorite singer's concert is gone. The girl who was happy when you were happy and sad when you were sad is gone. As much as I used to love Leo, that's how free I feel now. Leo didn't love me. He was just used to having me around. That ambiguity trapped me for so long. Now my eyes are wide open. Done talking. Daniel was leaning casually against the door frame, looking effortlessly elegant in a black shirt and a brown suit jacket. I had no idea how much he'd heard. How did you get in here? I asked. I was waiting for you downstairs. When you didn't come down, I called your boss, and he let me up. Daniel stepped closer, cupping my face in his hands. He gently stroked my chin with his thumb, his touch full of affection. That dress you like came in. Since your skirt is dirty, just throw it out and change into the new one. I had actually spotted it a couple of days ago. Their clothes usually required a month's lead time for custom orders. I was surprised it was ready so soon. A capable man really is different. I took the dress and smiled. Wait for me then. I'll go change. Okay. Leo's eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. He grabbed my arm, questioning me word by word. Anna, what do you think you're doing? Daniel pulled his hand away and sheltered me in his arms. His tone was firm. Anna is my girlfriend now. Please stay away from her. Leo's eyes instantly turned red, the veins in his neck bulging. Anna, I'm ordering you to break up with him. Don't degrade yourself just to spite me. Degrade myself? Finding someone better than him is degrading myself. This guy's insane. His words made me tremble with anger. I wanted to slap him. Daniel beat me to it, landing a punch that sent Leo stumbling to the ground. He shook his hand out, his voice low and careless. Leo, your mouth is toxic. Who Anna is with is her choice. It has nothing to do with you. Daniel was a wealthy CEO who had never been in a real fight. When he threw the punch, he must have scraped his hand on something. His knuckles were red, and there was a cut on the back of his hand. Thank you, Mr. Ford, for sticking up for me back there, I said, looking at his hand with concern. Wait here. There's a pharmacy nearby. I'll be right back. I sprinted to buy alcohol swabs, bandages, and gauze. When I returned, Daniel was leaning against his car, waiting quietly. From the moment I came into view, his gaze never left me. I started to feel self-conscious. What? Is there something on my face? Daniel shook his head, not dwelling on it. It's been a while since I've been able to look at you like this. Did we know each other before? I asked. Daniel's gaze was deep. Maybe. The kind of knowing where we just brushed past each other. I nodded in agreement and began dabbing alcohol on his hand. The city isn't that big, but it isn't that small either. Brushing past someone is fate. Actually, meeting is a 1 in a million piece of luck. Daniel leaned his head closer, his voice husky. Be gentle. It hurts. I looked up and met his eyes, my own reflection staring back at me from his pupils. My heart skipped a beat, then started to pound. I snapped out of it, licking my dry lips, and my touch became lighter. If you were afraid of it hurting, why did you hit him? Did I scare you? Not at all, I said firmly. Even if you hadn't, I would have slapped him. My love for him might have been humble, but I'm not. I won't let anyone walk all over me anymore. I never would have imagined that Leo saw me as something so cheap, that after all these years of friendship, he could think of me that way. Daniel raised his hand, paused midair, and then gently tucked a stray strand of hair behind my ear. Anna, you've always been brave in love. It's just that someone didn't know how to appreciate you. Don't let it get to you. You deserve better. It was a restrained, respectful gesture. Daniel didn't seem like the cold, woman-hating type people said he was. He'd been so kind from the start, cooperating with my dare, bringing me a dress, and even fighting for me. What had I, Anna, ever done to deserve Daniel providing me with so much emotional support? Couldn't he be making multi-million-dollar deals in this time? I shook the wild thoughts from my head and tested the waters. Mr. Ford, I only kissed you because of that game of truth or dare. Daniel nodded. In that case, I have the person who came up with that dare to thank. Why? How else would I have found a reason to get close to you? I thought about his words. It felt like he was hinting at something. Mr. Ford, do you like me? Daniel raised an eyebrow, a smile playing on his lips. He looked to be in an excellent mood. You kissed me. Shouldn't you take responsibility? I said it from the beginning. Daniel leaned in, backing me against the car door until I had nowhere to go. I stared at him stunned. Said what? Daniel looked me straight in the eye and said slowly and clearly, girlfriend. That night, Daniel took me to dinner and then drove me home. When he showed up on my doorstep early the next morning, I finally realized it wasn't a dream. My boyfriend is Daniel Ford. My boyfriend is Daniel Ford. As the end of the year approached, every department in the company was working overtime. Daniel, worried I wouldn't have time for lunch, had meals delivered for me right on time every day. In the afternoons, he would also order coffee, fruit platters, and desserts for my entire department in my name. I sent him a picture. Thanks, boyfriend. You're so thoughtful. Me, everyone is raving about how beautiful and delicious these little cakes are. Daniel replied quickly, glad you like them. Me, do you have a link for this bakery? Daniel, it's owned by a pastry chef friend of mine. I'll take you to meet him sometime. You can order whatever you want from him. Just put it on my tab. Me, that's so nice. How can I ever repay you? Daniel, the winter solstice is in a few days. Want to come over to my place and make dumplings? I happily agreed. After a few more messages, I went back to my design sketches. This jewelry design project was a collaboration with Vail Ricks. The boss was taking it very seriously, asking for a set of accessories that combine traditional cultural elements with jade and diamonds for a New Year's limited edition release. The winner would not only get a $10,000 bonus, but also a promotion to Associate Design Director. Na emerged from the director's office looking dejected, her design sketches in hand. She must have seen everyone eating the desserts Daniel had sent, noticed she didn't get any, and then heard some comments from our colleagues. A moment later, she stormed over to my desk and snatched the stylus from my hand. What is it, Anna? Come outside for a minute. I was curious to see what new trick she had up her sleeve, so we went to the stairwell. Anna, do you really have to be like this? Like what? Since when do you have a boyfriend? How come I didn't know? Her question made me laugh. I don't need to report my relationship status to you. It's perfectly normal that you didn't know. You don't have one at all, do you? You're just doing this to spite me for being with Leo. So, you buy all this food every day to rub it in my face? Do you really have to be so petty? I feigned surprise. Didn't Leo tell you that cut on his mouth is for my boyfriend? Then again, it's pretty embarrassing for him. I mean, he got beat up because of me. He got beat up for running his mouth about me. But I didn't mind letting her think otherwise. Seeing her trembling with rage, but unable to do anything about it, was quite satisfying. You're really something else, Anna? Na said, taking a deep breath and pulling out her phone to open her photo album. I thought you were my best friend, and this is how you treat me. Does your boyfriend know you were in a bar hitting on other men, kissing them? You want to bet that if this photo got out around the company, your reputation would be ruined. I glanced at the photo and said calmly, Nah, I never realized before just how malicious and disgusting you are. You're the one who destroyed our friendship. You wronged me first. I'm just giving you a taste of your own medicine, she said as if it were perfectly justified. Wow, her self-righteousness was truly hopeless. I guess she and Leo really are a perfect match. Go ahead and post it if you want, but I'm warning you, you won't be able to handle the consequences. We've been friends for almost 6 years. I thought she was just a little manipulative. I never knew she held so much malice toward me that she couldn't stand to see me happy. In that case, a simple warning would have to do. Someone as rotten to the core as her could look in a mirror and still not recognize who she really is. On the day of the winter solstice, Henry sent me a message inviting me out for spicy hot pot. He said Leo wanted me to come. Leo loves hot pot, especially the spicy kind, but I have a sensitive stomach and can't handle much spice. In the past, I'd gone with him to cater to his tastes, and it landed me in the hospital a few times. Once, I asked him to take me to the hospital but he complained it was a hassle and called me dramatic. Halfway there, he got a call from Nina, dropped me off on the side of the road, and left. I turned him down and told him I wouldn't be attending any of their get-togethers from now on. I decisively deleted his contact along with all of his shady friends I was connected to. A clean break is the only way. Keeping unnecessary people around would only ruin my mood. After work, Henry was actually waiting at the company entrance. He blocked my path. I'd never noticed before how annoying they were, clinging like glue. "Anna, have you had enough of this drama? Leo's been drinking himself sick at the bar every night because of you. He's lost so much weight." I ignored him and, seeing the light snow falling, started walking toward the street. Henry continued, "You know, he's always had a place for you in his heart. He really cares about you. He just doesn't realize it. And add me back to your contacts. He was just messing around with Nina. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? Don't be so petty. Once he's had his fun, he'll come back to you." Not far away, the back door of a luxurious, high-profile Rolls-Royce opened. Daniel stepped out, dressed all in black with a white turtleneck underneath his overcoat. At 6 feet 3 inches, his tall frame was striking. He walked toward me through the snow, holding a black umbrella. The vibe of a noble, aloof prince was off the charts. I couldn't help but stare. "I told you to wait for me inside. It's snowing and cold out. What if you get sick?" Daniel's voice was cool, but his hands, as he cupped my cheeks, were warm. Henry stood frozen to the side like a statue, his eyes wide as he stared at Daniel. I smiled and hugged Daniel, burrowing into his coat. "I wanted to see you sooner. They say that if a couple sees the first snow together, they'll be happy forever." Daniel wrapped me in his arms and kissed my forehead. His lips were cool from the cold, but I loved it. It was just a shame there was an oblivious third standing right there, ruining the mood. I raised an eyebrow, my voice full of sass. What does the great Henry have a thing for watching other people's PDA? He walked away with a puzzled look on his face, glancing back every so often to confirm what he was seeing. He probably couldn't believe that the cold, intimidating Daniel Ford the world knew was such a clinger in private. The villa was bustling with activity. When we walked in, Daniel's friends were already in the kitchen mincing meat and kneading dough. It was warm inside. Daniel helped me take off my coat, and we walked in front of everyone, our fingers intertwined. When his friends saw us, they all crowded around to say hello. "Hey, boss, you finally decided to introduce us to your girlfriend," Will said, holding up his flour-covered hands with a grin. "We've met before. I'm Will." Daniel shot him a look and tightened his arm around my waist. "Warning, wash your hands. Don't get that on Anna." For a moment, everyone just stared blankly at Daniel as if they'd seen a ghost. Am I deaf, or am I hallucinating? I could have sworn I just heard the boss use a nickname. See, having a girlfriend really changes a man. He's like a peacock showing off its feathers. Seriously, you have no idea, Anna. Nowadays, when we try to get the guys together, the boss always says he's busy and has to see his girlfriend. We had to practically beg him today, saying we all had to make dumplings together for the winter solstice, or else he wouldn't have even let us come. It's his first time in a relationship, so if he does anything wrong, you tell us, and we'll chew him out for you. I smiled graciously. He's pretty clingy, but I like it. The group was happily gathered in the kitchen. They asked me what kind of fillings I liked, and if I had any food allergies, then got to work mixing the ingredients. "Do you need any help? I know how to make dumplings too," I offered. "No way. You just sit back and get ready to eat. The boss would kill us if he saw you working." I looked over at Daniel. At some point, he had appeared with a large bowl of cherries. "Are you usually this intimidating?" I asked. Daniel smiled. "Are you scared?" "Nope, as long as you're not intimidating with me." I tilted my head back and opened my mouth, signaling for him to feed me. He looked down, picked one out, and held it to my lips. I took a bite right from his hand. "Sweet?" Daniel asked. "Very." He ate the rest of it and nodded. "It is." We chatted while Daniel continued to feed me cherries. When I looked for a trash can to spit out the pits, he casually held out his hand. "I'll throw them away." I blushed instantly. This made me look so spoiled. This man, Daniel, was just too much. Daniel's home was also stocked with hot pot, seafood, and champagne. He knew I couldn't eat spicy food, so he had his housekeeper prepare a mild chicken and mushroom broth especially for me. It was delicious and nourishing. We all sat around a large circular table, eating, drinking, and laughing. From the mountain villa, we could see heavy snow falling outside the floor-to-ceiling windows, illuminated by the lights. It was the perfect picture of romance and togetherness. By the time the last guest left, it was already past 11 at night. Daniel came up behind me and wrapped his arms around me, holding me close. I could feel his warm, alcohol-scented breath tickling my ear. Finally, Daniel murmured, his voice low, "I can have you to myself for a while. Were they too loud for you?" I shook my head. They're all really friendly and funny. I like them. I'm into it. Then I picked up a photo frame from the desk in his study. Inside was a picture of me running a race at a high school sports meet. "Daniel Ford, care to explain this? You've had a crush on me since high school." Daniel froze for a second, his dark eyes deep as he looked at me. "Not high school." I was confused. "Then elementary school. You probably don't remember, but on a first-grade field trip, I got lost in the park. You were that little crybaby," I exclaimed. "You just kept crying and crying, so I had to give you a lollipop to calm you down while I led you out. My teacher even praised me for it afterward. I remember it pretty clearly." Daniel cleared his throat, his silence a form of admission. I found it amazing to think that the little crybaby from my childhood was now this tall, composed CEO. Daniel continued. "The next day, my parents came to the school to transfer me out. They thought the school was irresponsible. I asked my teacher your name and found out it was Anna. I wanted to find you, but my mom dragged me away. The next time I saw you was at a basketball game our freshman year of high school. You were the cheer captain for your class. I wanted to talk to you then, but your eyes were always following Leo. So, even when our team beat yours, you were busy comforting him. Even though I was first in our class and spoke at the school assembly, even when I offered you water at the sports meet, even all the times we passed each other in the halls, your eyes were always on Leo. I thought I'd have to bury these feelings forever, that you'd never know. Then a few months ago, I went to your company to meet your boss for an auction. That day, I saw Leo in the parking garage getting intimate with another woman while you were completely oblivious, still pouring your heart out for him. I couldn't stand it, so I told you. Maybe it was selfish, and I knew it would hurt you, but I wanted you to see the truth. Leo doesn't deserve you. I knew you guys were going to that bar, so I followed. I was worried you'd get taken advantage of. I know you only kissed me because of the dare, but I was so happy it was me you kissed. It gave me a reason to get close to you." I looked at him seriously and blinked. A CEO who actually communicates, that's rare. When I'm with you, I'm just Daniel. Daniel leaned over, pressing me down onto the sofa, and captured my lips in a long, deep kiss. By the time he was done, I was dizzy and breathless. His nose was touching mine, his eyes dark with passion. "Stay with me tonight." My hand slid up his chest, tracing the lines of his abs. I tilted my head back, my gaze hazy. "Mr. Ford, you have a great body. I'm sure you'll be able to satisfy me." Leo was in a foul mood and had been drinking heavily. Nah, soft and pliant, wrapped herself around him, her eyes seductive. "What are you thinking about, Leo?" she purred, leaning her head on his shoulder. His pent-up frustration found an outlet, and he pushed her down onto the bed. His smile was wild and arrogant, thinking about all the ways I'm going to ravage you, you little minx. Afterward, the warmth faded, replaced by an endless emptiness. He had lost count of how many times he'd checked his phone. Before, whenever he opened his phone, her profile picture would be the first one there. Now, there were no new messages, and as time passed, her icon sank lower and lower down his contact list. He clicked on her profile and looked at her feed. There was a large group photo. Anna and Daniel were in the center, surrounded by friends. A bitter feeling churned in his stomach. He couldn't quite name it. His face grim, he glanced at the sleeping woman beside him, then stepped out to make a call. "Hello." The call was answered quickly, but the voice on the other end was a man's, low and impatient. A sharp pain shot through Leo's heart. 1 in the morning. A man was answering Anna's phone. It was Daniel Ford. Leo's fists clenched, his voice trembling with barely suppressed rage. "Is this Daniel Ford? Why do you have Anna's phone? What have you done to her?" There was a slight pause on the other end, but the man didn't sound angry. His tone was calm, almost gentle. What do you think we're doing this late at night? We're sleeping, of course. Leo took several deep, ragged breaths, trying to control his explosive anger. Let me talk to Anna. Daniel looked down, gently soothing the woman in his arms who was stirring from the noise. She's asleep. Whatever it is, it can wait until tomorrow. He then hung up and turned the phone off. The next morning, I woke up feeling frustrated. Daniel's bed was comfortable, and I had fallen asleep quickly in his arms. When he said I should stay and spend the night with him, he literally just meant sleep. He was a healthy, virile man. How did he manage to last the whole night without doing anything? Daniel, still in his pajamas, knelt on the bed, leaned over to kiss me, and coaxed me to get up for breakfast. Leo called last night. You were asleep, so I answered it for you. Oh, I glanced at my phone and saw a dozen missed calls and a bright red 99 plus notification on my messages. They were all from Leo. I was stunned for a moment. Then I muted his notifications and put my phone down. If this had been the old me, I would have been thrilled and called him back immediately. Not anymore, and I definitely didn't want him disturbing me. Daniel took it all in, raising an eyebrow. That's a lot of calls. Aren't you going to call him back? It might be an emergency. I shook my head. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Daniel came over and hugged me, stroking my hair and kissing my forehead affectionately. I hugged him back around his waist. I'll find some time to make things clear with him, I said. Daniel said quietly, don't bother. We already made things clear last time. He'll stop when he's tired of making a scene. He's just asking for it. Well, okay then. After a weekend spent cozied up with Daniel, I went back to work. But my colleagues were all looking at me strangely. When I asked, I found out that a photo of me and Daniel kissing at the bar had been posted on the company's internal network. Only my face was visible. The man's had been pixelated. It didn't take a genius to figure out it was Nina's doing. And right on cue, she came marching toward me, her eyes red and swollen. Anna, you have a boyfriend, but you're still out there seducing other men, and now you're trying to get between me and Leo. Have you no shame? Her shrill screams echoed through the entire office. I let out a laugh. So classless. What a pathetic, foolish girl. Nina, you need evidence to make accusations like that. Your boyfriend was the one calling me late at night. My boyfriend hung up on him, and then he started blowing up my phone. Besides, I've been with my boyfriend for the past 2 days. How exactly am I getting between you two? Not and believe me. If it wasn't you, why would he break up with me after things were going so well? It's because you're petty and spiteful. I was only with you because of a bet with my friends. It was never real. Leo stepped out, his voice completely devoid of warmth. Everyone was now laughing at Na. It turned out their relationship wasn't even real. Yet, she had been showing it off everywhere, acting like the victim while she was the one causing trouble. Na went berserk and started slapping Leo, but her colleagues pulled her away. I stood over her, looking down. Maliciously taking and distributing photos while twisting the facts is a crime. I will be pressing charges. If your boyfriend finds out you were kissing someone else, do you think you'll get off easy? Na was still struggling, determined to drag me down with her, even if she was going down. The man I was kissing happens to be my boyfriend, Daniel Ford. I said with a brilliant smile, showing her a photo of us together. Na's face went deathly pale. She collapsed onto the floor, muttering, How is that possible? How could your boyfriend be Daniel Ford? That's Daniel Ford. How could someone as amazing as him be interested in you? What's so great about you? My heart turned to ice. So, this was a friend of mine, praising me to my face while secretly hoping my life falls apart. Nina was fired from the company. I sued her, and my lawyer was excellent. She was sentenced to 2 years. Leo resigned, first because he was too ashamed to stay, and second because I made a point of hugging, kissing, and showing affection to Daniel right in front of him. He couldn't beat Daniel in a fight, and he couldn't win me back from him. My heart was no longer his. After a few days of hysterical outbursts, he went back to his hometown for an arranged date. Less than a month later, he was engaged. As for me, I soon won first place in the jewelry design competition and was promoted to associate design director. I made new friends, a group of people who were sincere, like-minded, and mutually respected one another. And I had a man who treated me like a treasure. Time teaches us many things. The people who are truly meant for each other will eventually find their way back together, moving toward a better future. Epilogue. Daniel and I got engaged. We've been busy packing and moving into our new house these past few days. I had always wanted a dream home, one with a great view, a classic traditional style, and a courtyard. So, Daniel bought a plot of land and personally designed and oversaw the construction of our new home. This afternoon, after a meeting, Daniel took me to his place to pack up some of his things. I had never been to the room at the far end of the third-floor hall. It was always locked, so I just assumed it was for storage and never paid it much attention. "Aren't we going to pack up this room?" I asked. Daniel cleared his throat, looking a little guilty. "I can get it myself some other day." I frowned. He was definitely hiding something. "Daniel, you don't have something scandalous hidden in there, do you?" Daniel shook his head. I put on a stern voice. "Open it. Pack it up right in front of me." "Are you sure?" "I'm sure." "Now open it." Resigned, Daniel took a few steps, then turned back to take the box I was holding. "You open it," he said weakly. "I'll just take this downstairs." He tried to make a run for it, but I grabbed his collar and pinned him against the door. I held him in place with my right arm, not letting him escape. With my left, I unlocked the door. The first thing I saw when I walked in was a huge wall-sized photo of me in my high school uniform, smiling brightly. There were photos of me from all 3 years of high school, photos of me in my college classes, and even photos from my internships. Almost every single one was of my back on my profile. Every time, he set his eyes fixed on me. Every time we passed each other, you were all I could see. I couldn't help but take a picture of your back. Sometimes I would wonder if you would ever turn around. I remember this one, I said, pointing to a picture of me in red sweatpants. I told my friend that day that a cute guy was looking at me, but she didn't believe me. She said he was probably looking at my bright red pants. I can't believe that cute guy was you. It turned out that in all the times I never knew, Daniel and I really had passed each other so many times. I was just never aware while he was always waiting. My eyes started to get misty. I wrapped my arms around his neck and gave him a kiss. "Thank you, my husband. Thank you for waiting for me." Daniel froze for a second. When he realized what had happened, a blush spread across his cheeks. He raised a hand to my face, his thumb gently stroking my skin. His eyes sparkled with endless love and adoration. He leaned in and kissed my lips. After a long moment, he pulled away, his hands on my waist as he whispered in my ear, "Say it again." The kiss had left my legs weak and my head spinning. "Say what?" Those 2 words. I smiled, pressing myself against his chest, teasing him fearlessly. "Want me to say it in bed?" Daniel pushed off with one long leg, and his slender hands scooped me up by my hips as he started walking out. "What are you doing?" I gasped. He looked down at me, his voice husky. "Taking you to bed." The door to the small room at the end of the hall was open. A gust of wind blew through, lifting the edges of the photographs. On the back of every single one was Daniel's silent hope. "Just turn around. I'll always be here."